St. John Paul the Great was known for his message of the new evangelization, the call for each of us to deepen our faith, believe in the gospel message, and go forth to proclaim the gospel to the lost, the broken, the doubtful, those who need healing from our Lord.
My name is John Miller, and this is my wife Dana Miller, and we lost our son Paul Vincent Miller.
Our leaders are fulfilling what St. John Paul the Great, Pope Francis, and our Lord refers to, leading and bringing healing opportunities to those who are suffering from child loss. The rightness of one's heart after losing someone they love, especially a child, is extraordinary.
It was just such a time of the guilt and the humility. And I remember Mama saying, "Why do you feel guilt and humility, baby? You didn't do anything." And I'm like, "But I did. I blamed myself." As a woman and a mama, you just do.
And as a man, you basically look at him and say, don't feel that way.
After Talon died, my desire for heaven was intense. I wanted to get to heaven because my son was there. But there was just one thing. I was so mad at God. And because of that anger, I prevented myself from experiencing the real healing that God wanted for me and giving myself the opportunity for heaven. Grief ministry is a missing touch point of evangelization in the church, is when a person's heart is right for God. And if done well, it can make an impact on someone's life in such a profound way and follow them for the rest of their life. What our families need the most to begin their healing journey is witnesses, families walking hand in hand with other families, with God, modeling hope and healing that is also available for them too, helping families to open their hearts to what God has in store. And once trust is established, those families can walk with them to the foot of the cross and allow God to heal them. And then we partner with experts, our priests, our clergy, our Catholic therapists. Those families need experts. They need a community of people surrounding them to help them to heal.
Kelly shared with me what she had done in the first 2 years of Redbird's launch, a small ministry starting in Breaux Bridge, Louisiana, but that things were happening. I came from a banking background. I'd spent 32 years in banking, and while I didn't have the child loss aspect of the ministry, I certainly could help them as they wanted to advance the ministry. We began with building a business plan. We went out and fundraised to be able to launch a broader approach to our ministry. And I'm so happy to say that in the 3 years that I've been involved, the ministry has just absolutely blown wide open.
Dr. Harvey Payne said, "Sometimes the letters behind one's name or degrees get in the way of opening hearts to healing. Peers have the authority to speak into the space of experience that oftentimes experts can't."
There were several signs of the Redbird. Thankfully, I was able to see that and recognize that. And I just called, and it was like, oh my gosh, like I found someone that her strength is unbelievable, and every day it is work. But she's breathing, she's living, she's still living life and finding joy. And I see her laugh. Wow, she laughs. How do you laugh?
Pope Francis, in Spirit-Filled Evangelizer, he says that God saves us as people, and his love extends to all. Rather than keep ourselves at arm's length, our Lord wants to touch human misery.
With technology that can reach people anywhere, we're able to bring them to us and help them heal. That's the beauty of this ministry.
The spiritual works of mercy have long been a part of the Christian tradition. Just as Jesus attended to the spiritual well-being of those he ministered to, these spiritual works of mercy guide us to help our neighbor in their spiritual needs. We are all invited to take part of the fourth spiritual work of mercy, comforting the sorrowful. We must not leave bereavement work to the secular world for families to be invited into healing without God.
For years, I sat in the pews listening to John Paul's message of evangelization. And truthfully, I really didn't know what that meant for me. I didn't know how I was to go out and proclaim the gospel. That epiphany I've had through Redbird is that the ministry itself is evangelization. We are reaching people at the worst point in their life. We're helping them to heal. We're helping them in understanding their suffering joining them in their suffering and bringing them back to the sacraments and, of course, to Jesus.
We have the perfect opportunity to lead our families to healing with God and to help them grow in relationship with our Lord, where that deep and lasting healing actually happens at the foot of the cross.
I will stand behind Redbird forever. It really is incredible, the lives that I've seen change.
At least for me, just by opening up your heart, humbling yourself at the foot of the cross, believing that Jesus will guide you and protect you and carry you and your family through the hardest of times.
We see our leaders, who are largely families of loss, with a deep desire to bring the ministry to their communities, but they also are in need of their hearts to be cared for. The work is underway to identify content, guest speakers, workshops, and retreats in the future, an annual conference to form and educate our leaders so that they can serve in their community. Join us in this new evangelization in grief ministry.